Hey Kaan, thanks for sending me your swim video for analysis. The first thing I did was I counted how many strokes you took per 25 and I added it up to your time to get what's called a SWALF score. And the idea is to start with trying to be under 50 and then eventually get to under 40. So the first length you took 27 strokes in 26 seconds. That totals 52. The second one you did the same, 27 strokes in 26 seconds. The third length you took 28 strokes in 29 seconds. And the fourth length you took 29 strokes in about 28 seconds. So again, with the stroke drills that I'm going to suggest that you do, we want to try to get you to push more water behind you and propel you forward to pull the greatest amount of water with every arm stroke, so you start to take less strokes in about the same amount of time. So initially I want you to get that score down, taking less than 25 strokes and keeping the time about the same, that 26 to 29 seconds. So that's what I'm looking at first. Then I'm looking at breathing, body balance, rotation. And then I'm looking at the three main phases of the stroke. Recovery, what's going on with your hand out of the water. That affects hand entry. Ultimately, that affects your underwater catch and push all the way behind you, which is going to propel you forward. When it comes to body balance and rotation, you actually have pretty good rotation despite not breathing to both sides. You're a frequent one-side dominant breather, but your rotation's actually okay. Body balance, it looks like your body's on the surface of the water. Your kick looks nice and steady, consistent. There's no splitting of the legs up and down. It's really still. I like that. That's going to help you with the body balance. When it comes to breathing, though, I noticed on every length, you would start by taking 4 strokes per breath, and then it looked like you kind of got tired and started breathing every 1, 2, 1, 2. So I'm going to send you an article that I wrote about different things that affect your breathing, which might be going on with you. It could just be conditioning and you haven't been in the water in a while. So let's move on to the recovery phase, what's going on with your arms out of the water. You are swinging your arm. So what I want you to do is stop and pause the video, and I want you to watch your arm swing. You can actually see the water, the arc that the water's making as you're recovering. And you're just kind of swinging, and it looks like you're trying to reach so far before you put your hand in the water. What I want you to focus on instead is trying to get your elbow up, trying to keep your fingertips low, below your elbow, below your fingertips, below your wrist, below your elbow, and let your hip rotation help extend your arm. So you're not throwing your arm in front of you, but you're still extending because you're rotating, and then you're entering fingertips, wrist, elbow first, and your arm continues that extension under the water now because you're rotating instead of reaching so much on top of the water. I'm afraid you're going to develop some shoulder issues, especially with your left arm. Your left arm really swings more than your right, and you can see your left arm tends to maybe cross over your head a little bit. So thumb slide drills, fingertip drag drills are going to help that. The reason that's so important is because your recovery phase of the stroke sets you up for a good hand entry. As I've already mentioned, you want to enter fingertips, wrist, elbow with an angle like this instead of an angle like this. So you have this flat hand, almost elbow entry before your fingertips is what's going on there. So probably, the common drills are going to be fist, closed fist, head out of the water drill to really work on that angle of your hand entry. Because that's so important, because that sets you up for a stronger, more powerful catch and then push all the way behind you. Catch, which is called a high elbow catch, and then push. High elbow meaning elbow above your wrist, above your fingertips, not necessarily elbow high on the surface of the water. You can tell, especially when you're swimming, where you're breathing. Oh, what side do you breathe on? Now I forget. But again, stopping and pausing the video as you watch me speaking to you is going to help you see the things that I'm seeing. So we talked about recovery, swinging arms, left arms crossing your head, hand entry. So let's talk about the catch and the push. You have one hand, I think it's your left hand, that is coming out of the water very short. You're not extending all the way past your hip. You don't really have much power at all behind your pull, and that has to do with hand entry. So a little bit of backtracking. Because you're reaching so much on the surface and you're entering flat, right after you enter, you're doing this, which you're trying to get what's called a catch, and then you're pulling too early, and you're not pulling enough during the power phase. The power phase is from here all the way past your hip, and you tend to pull from here to here, and then your arm kind of drops. So the reason I'm trying to get you to enter deeper is so you can catch deeper, pull past your hip. This is the power phase from here to here, not from here to here. So once you get that entry deeper and you get a deeper catch, you're going to get a more powerful push all the way past your hip with every arm stroke. So let's do a quick review of the things I want you to work on. First is going from a wide swinging arm recovery to getting your elbow up higher. It's going to come around a little bit faster. That's going to set you up for a good hand entry deep with we're going to have you do fist drills, head out of the water drills, and that's going to set you up for a more powerful catch and push all the way past your hip. Again, notice how I'm also coming down the center of my body so you can watch that black line. Swim over the black line if you have one, and watch your hands pulling underneath your body past your hip. I think that'll make a big difference, as well as conditioning, getting back in the water, and getting a little bit more fitness. Sometimes you need some fitness to be able to do the drills properly. So if you have any questions, let me know, and make it a great day.